You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Tuesday, happy Mars Day, and happy birthday to our friend Court from Bravely Beautiful brand, one of our favorite Aquariuses, and someone who just brightens our community. So wanting to send her lots of love today, and let's see who she shares her birthday with. Honestly, when I saw that Court and Ashton Kutcher have the same energy, I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. It just does. Hopefully she sees this at some point. Charles Dickens, also. Court, Charles Dickens, basically the same person. Chris Rock, she's very funny. Chris Rock, very funny guy. Garth Brooks, Steve Nash. Wow, February 7th is a very popular birthday. James Spader is a February 7th baby in Aquarius. Isaiah Thomas. Wow, okay. Lots of very successful people. So obviously, Laura Ingalls Wilder, but no one as amazing and important to us as Court. So I love how you're all sending her some love. I'll make sure she at least sees all of these beautiful messages from you. And I just want to say I appreciate you all too. I was running late this morning and you came through in the chat reminding me it's all right, worth the wait. We got your back. This is why I love you all. Hey, Rachel. Good morning, Chevy and Katie. He likes the opening of my popcast. How cute. That's what it should be called, a popcast, for sure. Another little birthday shout out to Courtney. All right. Yay. All the birthday love to you. She's here, the birthday queen. We are sending you so much love today, Court, and just so grateful for you. Let's talk about your birthday forecast. The sun is in Aquarius. The moon is in Virgo. I am partial to a Virgo moon because I've got all that Virgo energy in my chart. I know that you were feeling yourself on the Leo moon, Court. Yes. Sending it all to you. The moon in Aquarius, or the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Virgo, they are in signs that are kind of awkward with each other. So they're kind of playing their own games today. But we're going to talk about the very Aquarius energy we're definitely feeling today because Venus is forming a sextile to Uranus, the ruling planet of Aquarius. And the Virgo moon, the waning Virgo moon, is really asking us to release control, although certain points of the day that might be a little more difficult to do. So let's start with Venus and Uranus. And I'll pull it up on the chart here so you can see that nice sextile between Venus in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus. I really love this transit because it helps us to appreciate the weirdness in other people and also to try new things, maybe to even see our values through a new lens. So it's like, do it different today is really the message that's coming through overall when looking at the forecast. We might find ourselves attracted to eccentric people or like browsing online shopping and like, oh, I really am feeling like buying something weird today. Venus being the planet of love, money, and beauty. We're attracted to eccentricity, weirdness, oddities in those areas of our life. Even innovative ideas. Uranus is the planet of disruption and innovation. So if you get an insightful idea or a creative idea with Venus in Pisces, running with it. Uranus, although he's disruptive, he does amplify our intuition. And Venus in Pisces is a very intuitive energy as well. So, leaning into that Pisces energy, that intuitive energy, can help us channel innovative ideas, find forms of creative expression that are new and unique and different. And by being in that flow state, flow is a word that's really coming through today. By being in that flow state, unexpected financial opportunities could pop up. Chance encounters could happen with Venus and Uranus connecting like this. So just stay open today. Stay open to the people you meet, to the opportunities that come your way. Even if you are in a relationship or a friendship, trying out a new love language. Like, it could be a small shift, a simple little shift that unlocks a whole new way of relating, or a whole new way of calling in money, or a whole new way of seeing the beauty in the world. Oh, you have your Sun, Mercury, and Midheaven all in Virgo. So this is a very visible time for you, Nick, with the moon in Virgo. Feeling good, even though the moon is in my 12th house. Full moon was a purge. Now I'm just feeling into the abundance I have and the peace I feel right now. And flow, 12th house energy, flow. Just flow through it. Let it all happen. Let what needs to release be released. Shed any excess skin or stagnant energy that is not working out in your favor. I'm in that 12th house transit with you for pretty much the whole day today. So a 12th house transit can feel a little sleepy too. Just want to protect your energy, especially you, Rachel. I know that's something that's been coming up for you. I revamped my family's calendar. Taurus in my 4th house sounds very aligned. Yes, Uranus and Taurus, you're like, okay, we got to change up the calendar. We've got to innovate how we're planning things, or even what we value with our time, right? With Venus ruling our values. Feeling comfortable in the shedding, a beautiful place to be. So the bottom line here with Venus connecting with Uranus is try something new today, a new way of relating, a new way of being, and you might even surprise yourself at the pleasure you find. And that's not just carnal pleasure, physical pleasure. You might find that there's creative pleasure that comes through, or inspiring ideas with Venus and Pisces, that can pop in when you're in that flow state and like, I'll just try that. My intuition is telling me to walk in this direction a little bit. So maybe it's even a practice of following your intuition today. And like, if you happen to, sometimes I do this. I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you're like driving, I haven't done this in a long time. Sometimes I'll just be like, where does my car want to take me right now? Obviously, gas is kind of expensive, but if you can spare an extra 5-10 minutes, sometimes I like to just drive around and let my intuition lead me. And you might find something special along the way, something shiny, something pretty, something that's going to bring more beauty and pleasure and maybe even some more money into your life. You might meet someone new. So going a different route, trying a different thing could call in abundance in a new way. So let's talk about the Virgo moon. I'd love to hear if you're planning on trying anything new today, or if that sparked anything for you. Feel free to share in the comments. But we're going to move on to the moon in Virgo, the waning gibbous moon in Virgo. We talked about this energy as the moon moved into Virgo yesterday afternoon. We're starting this big release after the full moon with the Virgo moon. And it really feels like clearing out our space, clearing out our energy, cleansing, purifying. Virgo likes things to be pure. So the waning gibbous phase is an introspective time where we can kind of analyze our emotions and like, okay, let's just organize, take stock of our emotions a little bit. It sounds so Virgo to say that, but let's take stock. What's going on in here? Let's do an audit. Is there anything that needs to be released? Is there anything that needs to be cleared out? That can be really helpful in knowing, okay, what are we releasing? Because we're coming into next Saturday, I believe, the last quarter moon in it will be in Scorpio. And that's going to be a purge if I've ever felt one. The last quarter moon in Scorpio is definitely a purging energy. So taking this time to analyze what's got to go, okay? And the transits that the moon makes today might actually help you out. Before we get to those, I want to share what Katie is saying. Love that perspective. I'm going to add some manifesting and intentional energy to that calendar revamp. Yeah, what are you calling in with Venus connecting with Uranus? Abundance of time with my family, abundance of money to keep us resourced and for outlets. And I love how in this example, you're so graciously sharing you're tapping into your values as you are planning things out, right? And with Venus and Pisces, kind of like visioning, okay, what do my values look like physically on a calendar? You know, I really love how that energy is aligning for you. Look at that. Nick says, started submitting a short film my friend and I made 11 years ago for some film festivals today. Ooh, okay. We love how this Venus-Uranus connection is happening for you. Putting yourself out there, maybe putting that film, that piece of art in front of new people. Amazing. So the connections the moon makes at 11:30 this morning, so right around noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, the moon will square Mars. Remember how we were just talking about analyzing our emotions? Well, when the critical Virgo moon, you know, that's a shadow of Virgo as being critical. When the critical Virgo moon squares Mars in Gemini, both of these energies, Gemini and Virgo, are very detail oriented, looking at the fine print, noticing the data. So like the littlest annoyances could provoke some harsh emotional responses with the moon in Virgo. Like it's really easy to notice the things that are annoying us and that are irritating us. So that's par for the course. Knowing that that's coming later today, or you might even be feeling that right now. It's only about an hour away from that exact connection. In fact, I'll show you on the chart. Let's see. It's not quite showing up yet, but I have a feeling if we just jump ahead, yeah, the moon, a little more, we'll go 10 minutes. Will it pop up here? Nope, 20 minutes. There it is. The moon squaring Mars. Okay, so anytime this happens, it can make us more reactive, more impulsive, more spontaneous. But I really see this with the moon in Virgo as showing up as like, and with Mars and Gemini, like saying the critical thing without really thinking it through. Or like, I can't believe you're doing it that way. Or I'll just do it myself. Any Virgos out there feel called out? Yeah, I'll just do it myself, you know? So noticing if you are falling into that criticism or those annoyances and kind of letting them get the best of you, having the awareness to have a healthy outlet, maybe not to say every little thing that's on your mind today, not putting all of your thoughts into action. And the Virgo moon, I like to look at the moon as not only the awareness of what's coming up in these aspects, in these connections, but also the thing we can look to find emotional nurturing. And so with the moon and the earth sign of Virgo, like grounding yourself, this square in Virgo, Gemini can be very mentally activating. So coming back to your physical body, grounding yourself, taking a deep breath, leaning into either earth or air as this square plays out in earth and air elements, and just pausing before word vomiting. We don't want to be critical. We don't want to make other people feel crappy. Venus sextile Uranus too, although it's a supportive connection, could bring a little bit of a shakeup to relationships. So we don't want to carry the drama of the Leo moon into the Virgo moon, right? Like, let's just be nice, choose kindness, take a breath, write it down, come back to it if you still feel that way. Having a gentler response or bringing it up in a more gentle way, maybe bringing it up in a different way under Venus connecting with Uranus, can help have a more peaceful interaction, right? Whatever you're feeling might be valid, but saying it in the moment is probably not going to be the most effective way of communicating it, right? Bailey says, very annoyed this morning. That makes more sense. Sometimes it's just the confirmation too, like, why am I so irritated? Ah, yes, the moon is squaring Mars. That makes sense. Yeah. Yes, can feel that Virgo do-it-yourself thing. And a filter with the outside world should be kept in mind. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely have that filter in mind today. Corby says this Virgo moon is hitting my 11th house and Lilith. So I've been thinking about my community, us included. Yay, us. How can I show up and show love? So I'm sending postcards today. Oh, that sounds so fun. Very like Valentine's we're about a week out from Valentine's Day. Sending snail mail, sending physical cards in the mail feels very nostalgic and old school. And I love with Venus squaring Uranus, like finding a new way to show people love. Maybe that's not a new way for you, but kind of a more eccentric way than we're really used to these days. Most people just send off a text message or an email. You know, you're like, I got to do this my own way, show love in my own way. Love that. Love that. With the Virgo moon hitting your Lilith, you're a wonderful person. So I would just say your emotional reactions might come across a little more harsh than you intend them to. Maybe, just maybe. Court says, I love actual mail. I love doing that. Thank you for that reminder. Yeah, this is giving me a little inspiration to do a Valentine's project or something and send out Valentines or at least hand them out to my friends. I loved Valentine's Day growing up. It was so fun. Like, I would love to craft them, or what's my Valentine theme going to be, you know. Rachel says, thank you for the heads up. The house is a bit of a mess. Mine too. My partner is sick, so I'm feeling so much pressure to clean and juggle everything else. Yeah, remember Mars and Gemini too. You know this. You've got Mars and Gemini. It's kind of that overstimulation. I've got so many things to do. Yeah. Officially active. Yeah. Virgo in my 8th house. I'm still very tired and experiencing that full moon hangover. Totally makes sense. Hoping for a good night's sleep sometime soon. Give yourself plenty of time and space to rest. It's coming, but you're doing a lot of emotional work with the moon in the 8th house, doing a lot of deep stuff. Oh my gosh. Maribel says today is National Send a Card to a Friend Day. Corby, did you know that? Did you know today was National Send a Card to a Friend Day, or is your intuition just that on point? That is wild. Thank you for sharing that. Awesome. We're all going to just be sending postcards today. Trying to remember to take my time, and I don't have to get it all done, especially with your moon in the 12th house. Like, it's like moving at a snail's pace, right? So just give yourself time. When that first house energy kicks in, we're going to be productive. We're going to go for it tomorrow, okay? Give yourself today to just cocoon in the 12th house, or do it slowly. Let it flow. Let it happen naturally. Taurus is in my 7th, so my relationship's being highlighted with Uranus there. Definitely, I haven't sent cards in a while. Yes to the Lilith part. I caught myself this morning being a lot more direct. Yeah, like, this is what I want. Virgo moon conjunct Lilith. I know what I want. I'm going to get it done, and it's going to be done right, or I will do it myself. Yes, right? Venus in Pisces for Valentine's Day. It doesn't get sweeter than that. Right? When everybody working with kids, when they gave Valentines to each other, like, I feel like NFTs are such a thing in the past couple of years. It'd be cool if there was like a specific Valentine's NFT where you could like just send a little NFT to someone else that would drop. It was like a little, I mean, I guess you could just do that with like a little animation or something, but also sending a card. Nothing beats sending a card. Someone put a sign in my yard and didn't ask me, so I politely moved it. She's like, no, absolutely not. This is my territory. Very Lilith in Virgo and in Leo, kind of with Lilith currently in Leo. Like, this is me. You do not have access to this. I am sovereign. Gotta go. Love it. Okay, so we talked about the moon squaring Mars. Now let's talk about what's going on tonight. We have that Venus-Uranus connection playing out late tonight, actually. So as the day goes on, you might feel a little more inspired to change it up, do it differently. You still have plenty of time to take full advantage of that transit. And even if you're seeing this video on Wednesday, we're still going to be feeling that sextile between Venus and Uranus tomorrow. So if you're joining me live, you're ahead of the game. You're starting to feel into the eccentric energy. If you're finding this later, though, you still have plenty of opportunity to play with it. Okay, the moon is going to connect to both of them, though. So let me jump ahead on the chart. This is going to happen at about 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And what would that be? I'm trying to do math. 8:30, it's like adding 3. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. But also just after that, the moon trines Uranus. So you can see this triangle playing out. This is not a T-square. This is actually a really supportive connection because we have the moon making a trine to Uranus. It will be opposing Venus, and then Venus and Uranus are connecting with each other. So the opposition is the most tense part that we're going to feel tonight. The moon opposing Venus. This is the connection that happens right around 5:30. Yeah, that's what we'll feel first. So an onset of neediness as the night goes on is definitely a possibility. Anytime the moon opposes Venus, it's like we're craving affection. We need love, especially Venus and Pisces. Like, I need to be snuggled. I need the love. I need the affection, you know, being a little bit sensitive with Venus and Pisces. The moon in Virgo, you know, being very particular about what that love looks like. Or I just notice as a Virgo, there's this tendency to be like, I can do it all on my own. But when the moon opposes Pisces, it's like, no, I actually can't. And I need your help. And I need you to love me and snuggle me and give me all the things, right? So notice that neediness, not necessarily a good or a bad thing, just depending on how you relate to other people, right? Maybe go about asking for affection in a different way. That could get you what you want with Venus and Uranus connecting. Or Uranus is the planet of surprises and disruption. So maybe it's that you surprise a partner or you surprise a friend, you know, by just showing up respectfully, being like, let me show you some love right now. People will be feeling that with Venus opposing the moon. Like, ooh, I'm loving this affection and this attention that I'm getting, right? And then at the same time, the moon harmonizing with Uranus, we're open to surprises, we're open to changes, we're flowing with the weird things happening. So showing people love in a different way tonight, even spending money in a different way with with the moon harmonizing with Uranus, like the disruptions can bring good fortune. So trying things differently can definitely bring good fortune with the moon and Uranus harmonizing like this. I see this also just allowing us to flow with the change that's unfolding, especially after this Leo full moon, going with the flow, allowing the releasing phase of the moon to really free us. Uranus wants to free us. So the moon in Virgo, we've been talking about analyzing our emotions. We've been talking about the high expectations that we become aware of under the Virgo moon. This trine to Uranus is like freeing us from those irritations that popped up earlier in the day, from that stagnant energy that we're trying to release, from the expectations that we have of ourselves and other people. With the moon opposing Venus at the same time, it's like we can align with universal love more easily and just like, oh, it's okay to just be needy a little bit and to be snuggly and cuddly, and we don't have to be so uptight and protective all the time. That can be kind of part of Virgo energy, you know, like not letting people have access to us, where Venus and Pisces is like everybody has access because we are all one and it's universal love, you know. So flowing with that flow feels, again, like such a big theme of the forecast today. Going with the flow, being open to changes, open to disruptions, and even maybe charting a new path or trying something different, being intentional about the new experiences that you are calling in. I need to get myself a weighted blanket for these transits. I have never had a weighted blanket, but I've used one, or I've like tried one, and I like at least having like a heavy down comforter on me. I also sleep with dogs all over me all the time, so like they're little mini weighted blankets. But yes, 8th house feels like weighted blanket. Like, let me just feel like I'm going under, you know. Court loves them. I am going for a shop. Yes. Do it, queen. It's your birthday. Spend that money. Buy yourself something nice. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Okay, let's come back to our affirmation of the day. There is pleasure in letting go of control. This feels like something that can tie together all the things we've talked about with Venus and Uranus connecting, with the moon in Virgo, with just the energy of Aquarius season too. Like, even though Aquarius is a fixed sign, I feel like it's trying to be flowy on some level. It's trying to do its own thing, right? So just, there is going to be part of us today with the fixed energy we're feeling, with the Virgo energy we're feeling, with that square to Mars that wants to control and nitpick. But in those moments, reminding yourself there is pleasure in letting go of control and just being like, okay, universe, show me what's next. Riding the ride. You know, it's kind of like being at Disneyland or at a theme park. You're not in control on the ride, and that's fun. There's pleasure in just like being on the ride. For some reason, I'm picturing Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland, but you know, just like being in the boat. There's pleasure in just like, I'm just whatever comes next. If it's a little drop, it's going to be fun. If it's a little song with these animatronic weird figurines, that's pleasurable too. I'm accepting the pleasure that comes my way today as I let go of control and just go with the flow. Ooh, Rachel says, last night I went to intuitive movement, and during the movement we ended up hugging ourselves, kind of like dancing with yourself, and it felt so safe and comfortable. I am so glad you brought this up, Rachel, because as we're feeling a little needy tonight, if you're not around other people, remember that if you're feeling like you need physical affection, well, hey, Katie already mentioned the weighted blanket. That can kind of help. But, you know, just give yourself the love you crave. Give yourself the love you crave. And also remember, you don't have to do it all alone. Even though the moon is in Virgo and you might feel like you're fine on your own, you can ask for help too. It's not just about helping other people. We have the moon in the sign of service. We want to help others. Venus in Pisces is also really tied to other people's experiences. But if you're needing a little support, reach out to a friend. Ask for a little love. You don't even have to say like, can you please send me some love right now? Just like, hey, thinking of you, like just try a different approach and see where the conversation leads. But hug yourself, give yourself some love if you don't have someone else to snuggle up to tonight. Yes, I'm so glad you shared. Rachel said, in case anyone else is feeling needy, just give yourself a hug. Slow dance with yourself. Yeah, that can be, you know, I'm like dancing for you guys right now. That can be a way of giving yourself some love too, like moving your body. Let yourself commune with music. Let music flow through you and bring love to you. This is so hard as a Virgo, but is literal perfection for today. Honestly, the term literal perfection is the most Virgo term. I say that all the time. So I love that you just said that, Bailey. Literal perfection. That is like a catchphrase that I have used for so long. Expectations coming up for me a lot with a lot of different people. Virgo moon, yeah, a form of letting go of control when I adjust my expectations. Yeah, exactly. Like letting go of control, knowing that not everybody can read your mind, not everybody can meet your expectations. So release them and go with the flow. See what people are bringing to the table without you setting an expectation beforehand. Yes, sometimes my karaoke parties feel like I'm serenading myself. So empowering. And I would love to know how your full moon karaoke party went, Katie. If you had it, I know you said you were going to sing Dancing in the Moonlight, one of my absolute favorite songs of all time. That's another way to show yourself some love. If you're in the car, like singing at the top of your lungs, putting on a song you love. Terry says, my moon is in Pisces and Virgo in the 12th house for you. My stomach has been in knots. Releasing control. Even you saying that, I'm like, okay, let my stomach out a little bit, you know, just like find some physical comforts. I noticed I'm like sucking in, you know, very Virgo. Moon in Pisces. So Venus is coming into a conjunction with your moon or separating from a conjunction with your moon, giving yourself some love, allowing you to have more compassion for yourself and for the emotions and your sensitivities that come up. But the moon is currently in your 12th house. So it makes sense if you're feeling really sensitive or kind of needy or even like physically sensitive. The moon will move into your first house soon, Terry. And not a moment too soon. I love when the moon moves into the first house. Yes, phone a friend. Use a lifeline today. Absolutely. We're sending you love, Terry. Dance parties all day. And of course, if you happen to have a dance party, send a little love to Court. Imagine yourself dancing with Court for her birthday. Court is the queen of dancing on social media and sharing those vibes with all of us. So we got to send a little love back to her, through the dance. Literal perfection, Bailey. Literal perfection. Yeah, Corby says, I'm a Pisces moon too. You've got this. And Corby is crazy intuitive. So just goes to show that there's a lot of power in that sensitivity. You definitely have got this though, Terry. Yeah, I debated saying it, but I was like, just be you. Well, you and I have a lot in common, Bailey. Just goes to show this connection between Venus and Uranus. Being your authentic self, being weird is going to attract the right people to you. Also saying Moon Dance by Van Morrison. I mean, feeling the energy of the full moon. So perfect. Nick was jamming to The Night Begins to Shine with the Teen Titans. Music you can do anything to. Love that recommendation. And listening to different kind of music today as well, with Venus in Pisces, very musical energy. Uranus is like allowing us to step out of our comfort zone a little bit, listening to new music, listening to a new song, throwing on a playlist you've never listened to before. You might discover a new song you really like today. Oh my gosh. Last night I was rocking to Def Leppard. Yes. Pour Some Sugar on Me. That's Def Leppard, right? I mean, anytime that song comes on, there's just, my Scorpio moon is out. There's no hiding her anymore when that song comes on. It's just like, and I've loved that song since I was way too young for that to be appropriate. Okay, let's finish up with a card pull from the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, as we've been talking so much about Venus in Pisces. Bailey says, Terry, I agree. That's why I said literal perfection, because I also need to release the need to feel in control of things I just can't control, no matter how much I want to. Something that's helped me too, Bailey, in like releasing control, which I'm all Virgo and Scorpio, okay? I'm a control freak by nature. But finding the beauty in what happens when I release control and like, oh, wow, look at how that all just fell into place. Like that was really amazing, so there is pleasure in releasing control when you're like, I guess the universe or God had a better plan than I did. Who would have thought? Yeah. What a vibe. Yes. Perfect birthday energy. I actually discovered a new song today. Rachel says I posted it to my story with the deer and it's bringing me so much peace and abundance. You are already feeling it. Okay, let's go ahead and do our card pull. We're going to take a nice deep breath in and exhale, sending some energy to the cards, asking what we need to know. And of course, this is going to be a beautiful birthday message for Court. So here we go. Breathing in the deepest breath you've taken all day, the best gift you can give to yourself. Nice and deep. Here we go. Hold it and release. What do we need to know? Yes, Temple of the Rose is what came through. Ancient power, expression, activation, scarlet codes. Yes, yes, yes. Already loving this card. Okay, let's see. Temple of the Rose. For millennia, feminine power, expression, and wisdom have been suppressed. As a result, the feminine has been silenced, dismissed, and disrespected. We've become disconnected from the earth, the mother, and we've stopped revering our elders. But times are finally changing, and we are all part of this change. Every time we honor our body, express our wisdom, share our voice, and connect with our sensuality, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we call back our power, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we come together in circle, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we honor our cyclic nature and the cycles of nature, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Regardless of which gender you identify with, if any, this is a card of calling back your power. It's a card of expressing your truth, no matter what it is. It's a card of sharing your soul's voice and singing the song that you came here to sing. This is a card of activation. It's a call to action, and it's a remembrance. You are the child of the ancient goddess. As you express yourself, you express for all who could not. As you reclaim your power, you do so for all those who cannot. Each shackle you break through, you free those who are yet to come. Share your voice, sing your song, dance your dance, reclaim your power. This is what you came here for. How are you being called to call back your power, express your truth, or honor the cyclic nature within? full body chills. We've been talking about singing. We've been talking about dancing. We've been talking about expressing ourselves authentically. And Uranus is that planet that's like, just be your authentic self. Free yourself from convention, from the need to be perfect with the moon in Virgo, right? And Venus in Pisces is that expressive, artistic, flowy energy, just so perfect for today. And such a reminder that your unique light, your unique expression is not only needed, but when you share your light, you heal the generations before you and the generations to come and all of the people in your circle. And your healing sends out a ripple effect to everyone in the universe, if you ask me. Yes. Full chills. Woo, child. Yes. Yes. Amazing. And I really love this for you too, Court, because I know you said that you have been playing around with the energy of masculine and feminine and kind of feeling into your square between Venus and Mars, really working with feminine energy. I feel like this is that confirmation for you that tapping into your feminine energy is so aligned right now and helping you call back your power in more ways than you probably realize. And I will just say Court is a beautiful example of this, of someone, I mean, her brand is literally called Bravely Beautiful Brand. This card talking about sharing your song, sharing your dance, being your unique self, and giving other people permission to do the same is exactly what Court stands for. When I see her on social media, like, we haven't even met in person, but she is a dear friend of mine, and witnessing her just be herself has empowered me so much more to like, yeah, I'm going to dance sometimes on my stories, and I'm going to like post things that are unfiltered and raw, whereas so much of my Virgo energy wants it to be perfect all the time. And with her Pisces rising and her Venus in Pisces, Court is such a great example of someone who lets it be messy, and there's so much beauty in the messiness. So just want to send a little bit more love your way and honor how special you are and how much you affect the people around you and the people who witness you. I'm so glad you're feeling the love. I love you so much. I'm just so grateful that the internet, the interwebs, the cyber gods connected us, truly. Gives me that warm feeling inside. Yes, yes, yes. Rachel says, I keep getting this message of stepping into and healing my divine feminine energy and just trying to figure out ways. You did that intuitive dance. That's a way. You know, your soul's already calling you to do it. So the feminine is all about flow, not force, right? The masculine is that force. The feminine is all about flow. Letting those opportunities to flow and embrace your feminine energy come to you. The feminine is Venus. It's receptive, right? Where the masculine is, what's the word I'm looking for? External and kind of forcing. So let those opportunities come to you. You found that song that came to you. That's aligning with your feminine energy. You're doing the intuitive dance classes. That's very feminine, right? She's totally uninhibited. That is totally why we love Court. Yes. You are amazing. We all love you and hope you have an amazing day. Exactly. Stop analyzing it. Just let it go. Analyzing is actually much more masculine energy, honestly, because the mind, it's very airy, right? And that's air is a masculine element. So yeah, flow with it. Feel it. Feeling is feminine. All right, everybody. I am late to my next engagement, but I couldn't stop the flow today. I knew we just needed to get to this point. And yes, Hope Court has a great birthday from Nick. I love you all and just adore each and every one of you. So proud of you for continuing to show up for yourselves every day. If you're new here, we're so excited to have you here. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel so you can become part of our community and keep these forecasts coming to you for free every day. And you all are just freaking amazing. I hope you find some moments today to flow, to find some ease, and to do it a little differently, to express yourselves in new ways. Sending air hugs to you. Diane, it's all good. The forecast is always waiting for you there. And everybody, you came just in time. Everybody sent you a little bit of love. All right, I will be back tomorrow with a new episode of Transits Today, but until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.